All right, welcome to a special post-fight edition of Ringside Reporter Podcast. We have our post-fight reaction show with Canelo and Danny Jacobs. Canelo defeats Danny Jacobs by unanimous decision. Scores were 115 to 113 twice, and 116 to 112. And we have Beeb. He's on Blog Talk, and Beeb, did this fight surprise you at all? Were you surprised? Number one, you picked Canelo by knockout. Were you surprised this went the distance?
No. I went on 11, picked Canelo by knockout, but I very well thought that Jacobs could have lasted too. The big thing was like I said again, Canelo's counterpunching, number one, and his upper body movement. Those were two things that I mentioned before when we talked about this fight, and I thought they would present problems, which they did. Now, I thought Jacobs had a nice little rally in the second half of the fight. Canelo, I thought, maybe slowed down a bit, or maybe Jacobs just decided to become a little bit more aggressive, and Canelo was caught off guard by it because Jacobs kind of switched things up a bit in the second half of the fight. But for the most part, Jacobs really, really had a hard time connecting tonight. And in the first half of the fight, he did not throw a lot of punches, and I think that was due to Canelo's upper body movement and the fear of being countered. So this was definitely a possible scenario that I thought could have happened in the back of my mind. I mean, this was a fight that would have been tough to bet unless you wanted to lay big money on just a straight Canelo win, and that was probably the safest bet, but not necessarily because you had to put a lot of money up. But I thought Canelo could have stopped Jacobs. I thought Jacobs was going to be more aggressive, and I thought he would be more open to counters. But Jacobs really didn't go in for the kill a lot in this fight, and he did not put a high output offensively in this fight. And that was, again, not to beat a dead horse, because of Canelo's skill set.
Yeah. I had the fight scored 115-113 for Canelo. I tell you what, it was. I mean, I had him by a pretty good margin going into the 8th round. I mean, I thought that Jacobs won the first round, Canelo won the second round, and I thought that the third round was decisive. The second round, I thought Canelo did a little bit more. All the rounds were, the early rounds were competitive, but I was giving Canelo the rounds. I just thought he was busier. He was landing the cleaner, effective shots. But right around the 8th round, I noticed him start to slow down. And we were, I was watching the fight with my dad, and I'm like, is he slowing down, or is Jacobs becoming more effective? And it was apparent that Canelo was not throwing shots. At that point, at certain times in the fight, in the latter stages of the fight, Jacobs became the aggressor. When he became the aggressor, he was winning those rounds because he was touching Canelo.
Yes.
He was really touching Canelo. And so, actually, you know what? Did I lose everybody here? I hate Skype. I hate Skype. Anyway, I'll keep going, and then if I lost somebody, I'll run back on there. But I thought that he was the Canelo was the effective puncher in the beginning of the fight. But as it went on, I thought he became gassed. I thought he became tired out, and Jacobs really took advantage. I gave Jacobs the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th round. I gave Canelo the 12th round. But it just seemed to, it really, as the fight went on, it really seemed to, swing in Jacobs' favor, basically. And that was, to me, that was the biggest thing. So there you go. That's what I had. And it looks like, let's see here. I think we lost Beeb. Beeb's power went out, and so he was calling on Blog Talk. And then we had a call coming on Skype, and it looks like we knocked everybody off here. Let's see. Give me one second here. I've got an idea. Anyway, out in the chat, what did you guys think of the fight? Did you Beep didn't pay his electric bill? What did you guys think of the fight? Did you guys think that it was a pretty clear-cut fight? Did you guys think that Jacobs won pretty handily? Or not Jacobs, but did you think Canelo won pretty handily? I mean, how did you guys see that fight going down? So definitely drop me a line. Let me know. Look in the chat. Everybody seems to have it 7-5 Canelo. I'm seeing 117, 111 for Canelo. I'm seeing, but everybody seems to have the fight for Canelo. Did anybody have Jacobs winning? I think that's one of those things. All right, we are now trying to call Beeb. Beeb, can you hear me? Beeb, can you hear me? You guys wanted Skype. You guys, I not me. All right, you guys wanted Skype, so there you go. All right, so give me a second here. Trying to work this out. This is what happens when you do live shows and you do this on the fly. Trying again. Beeb, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. All right. So can everybody hear Beeb okay? I'm assuming they can. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, did anybody, and I asked the question I posed out there is, did anybody have Jacobs winning? And I don't know that anybody did. Well, Dreezy said he has Jacobs winning 7-5. I thought Jacobs made a fight of it. But the point is, I just don't think that Jacobs won the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought he was playing catch up the entire fight in the sense that he lost a lot of the earlier rounds, and he even admitted he started slow. And what really impressed me though in this fight by Canelo was the defense that he showed. We all knew he was really good at defense, but even the little jabs. I mean, Jacobs was doubling and tripling that jab, and he was doing that early in the fight. And I think I texted you around the second or third round and said that he's doing a good job, and I think he's actually imposing his body weight, his size basically on Canelo, and it's giving Canelo fits because if you notice in the first couple of rounds, Canelo wasn't letting go of those punches, but we went to the later rounds and then the mid rounds. Guys, no Skype today, so just stop calling. You can call it if you guys want to call in. You can call into Blog Talk. So basically, as the fight wore on, they you could see Canelo start to let go of those shots. And when he started to let go of those shots, that's when he started, he was winning rounds. And I think he got cocky. I don't know if he got cocky or what, but he got caught with a few big shots. But as big of a guy as Jacobs is, I don't know, man. I think that he did a pretty good job, man. Canelo's got a chin, and he's not going to be an easy out for anybody. If we talk about, we talk a lot about pound for pound and stuff like that, and you always hear Lomachenko, you always hear Crawford. Where's Canelo in that list? I mean, really, seriously, where is Canelo in that list? I mean, how can he not be pound for pound?
You can make an argument he's number one.
What's that?
Could make an argument. You can make an argument he's number one, or you can make an argument he's least in the top, at the very least, top three.
Look, man,
right?
let's think about this, logically for a minute here. All right, so we got Canelo here. We got Canelo, and, he went from 154 to 160. You can argue that Jacobs is at 168. He couldn't make 170. He couldn't even make 170 this morning. He's shrinking down quite a bit. Chakal told me that somebody in the camp expected Jacobs to come in at 184 at fight time.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's unreasonable. Yeah. I really don't. I don't think that's
Well,
unreasonable at all. He ate all day. I'm sure he ate today,
Yeah, I suspect he probably put on 5 more pounds. So at the very least, I thought he's probably 180.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he was up there. I mean, yeah, you're right. At the very least, he was 180. So yeah, that's a big one, man. That's a big one. So I don't know, man. A lot of people in the chat, like I said, thought Canelo won. I think that was I don't know, man. I think that's the right call. I mean, I was really rooting for Jacobs. I really was. I mean, I picked Canelo. I think
too.
We all did. And we were talking about, well, there's no way he's going to lose a decision here. But he took the decision out of the hand. I mean, it was a close fight. It was a good fight. But, Gonzalo Ayala says that Canelo lacked explosiveness. I couldn't disagree more. I mean, I thought he's a very explosive fighter. Now, he's not going to knock out Jacobs. I mean, listen, man, if Triple G couldn't knock out Jacobs, Canelo's certainly not going to knock him out. You got to think, man, he's Errol Button, Canelo top 3 for pound. He's right. And he's right. And he said you can mix match them. He said you can mix and match them either way. And you know what? He's entirely right. I don't you can't argue that. I mean, they are 1A, 1B, and 1C. Yeah. A lot of people somebody said Canelo is garbage in the chat. Jeez. You guys are rough tonight. Yeah, guys, as far as Blog Talk goes, for whatever reason, I don't know if Blog Talk's having issues. I quite honestly don't care. It's not on. But, hey, me and Beeb are going to give the commentary tonight, so no calls in. Don't worry about it, though. We're going to give you a good commentary on the fight and what happened. But Chris Rooney said Canelo made it look easy. He did in the early rounds. I think he did in the early rounds, but after that, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, Jason said 1 a.m. is the cutoff time for Blog Talk. Yeah, exactly. And thank you guys for, 1:30 in the morning, and you guys are out here listening to us, man. We definitely appreciate it. Tony Ayo, salute. Centurion, salute. James Way, salute. Sean Newton, always salute. Friend of the show, Sean Newton. Chris Rooney, salute. Rasclot, 122, salute. Jason, salute. Dale and Chi-Town, salute. Exisco, salute. Mario G, salute. Andres Castellanos, salute. John Mon, salute. Tony Ayo, salute. And Gonzalo Ayala, for sure, salute. Some people saw the Sam Pickett says it's 6:30 UK time. Thank you so much, man. Mario G said he saw it as a draw. Beeb, you scored this as a draw too as well, right?
Yeah, I had it a draw.
So
I had it a draw. I thought this fight was really close, man.
It was. I mean, it was in the sense that, like I said, man, he gave up a lot. But Canelo fades in fights, man. And
he does.
If you go to that second Triple G fight, he was winning that fight early, pretty handily, I thought. And slowly, Triple G sneaks back into it. And he sneaks back into it in the later rounds. I'll give you my scorecard here. Let's see here. I gave him 6 of the first 7 rounds. I'm speaking of Canelo. I gave him 6 of the first 7. I gave Jacobs the first, and then Canelo all the rest down to round 8. Now, from round 8, 9, 10, and 11, I gave those to Jacobs. So I ended up with a 7-5 card because I gave Canelo the 12th round. That's the other thing I was really impressed with, because Canelo, as much as he was fading, okay, he came up. I thought he won that 12th round. Did you give him the 12th round, or you gave Jacobs the 12th round?
No, I gave Canelo the 12th round.
Okay.
I thought he won 12th round.
Yeah, I thought he definitely won the 12th round, and that's where, listen, man. I mean, if it's a close fight, and I think they thought it was a close fight, and he went out there and did what he was supposed to do, and you knew Jacobs was going to come out there and try to do what he does best and try to close the show. He knows he needs that round, and he lost the round. Notorious VC says he doesn't have any idea of how these fight people are watching it so close or seeing the fight so close. I think it was a close fight, man. Go back and you're going to watch, like I said, starting in round 8, you'll see Canelo start to tire out, and that's where, that's what happens, man. That's, you start getting that, and there you go. Marquez had Jacobs. Jason says Marquez had Jacobs winning by 1 round. Wow. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I didn't have Jacobs winning. I thought it was a close fight, but I had 7-5. Reese Mack said 7-5 Jacobs. Yeah. So listen, man. Listen, this was a lot. I'll tell you what. This reminds me a lot of the Triple G, and Danny Jacobs fight, where a lot of people had Triple G winning, but a lot of people had Jacobs winning too. I think you're probably going to be in the 60-40, 70-30 range of Canelo. People thinking Canelo won this fight. I thought he won the fight. I don't think anybody had a real wide scorecard. I'd be surprised if anybody had a real wide scorecard one way or the other. You know what I mean? But I tell you what, and some people in the chat are alluding to this also, is the announcers.
Horrible.
Brian Kenny
was all up on freaking Canelo
all night, man.
Oh my God, was it horrible?
If you didn't know Canelo was a DAZN fighter, you knew after that, because Brian Kelly went all in and it was like a Canelo love fest in there, man. I mean, I think he had to fight 120 to 109 or something like that.
Yeah, but he's a homer. He's always been a homer, and I'll tell you why. Because he used to go back and forth with Floyd Mayweather, and he used to have such arguments with him. And then once he started working for Showtime, then he started interviewing Floyd. He was all on Floyd's nuts after that. Like he's just such a homer.
Yeah, he sure was.
He's a company man. He's definitely a company man.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I mean, like you said, I mean, he hated like Floyd Mayweather. I mean, when he was on ESPN, he hated Floyd Mayweather. As soon as he jumped to Showtime, he was all over Floyd.
Exactly.
And listen, man, Canelo's a house fighter, and that's fine. And there will always be a certain bias to the house fighter when it comes to announcers. I get it. This was way over the top. And also too, Sergio Mora, who I typically like, can he tell us one more time about how Jacobs knocked him down and he fought Jacobs? I mean, really?
Yeah.
I mean, can he like break that in anymore? I'm like, come on, man. I don't understand that. But he was like that throughout all of the fights. He was like that, I was knocked down by that left hand of Jacobs, blah blah blah. And when he switched stances on me, I was knocked down and I fought Jacobs. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Yeah, it was awful. They really need to do something over there. They really do. It was like, and Mora's usually pretty good. I think he is anyway, but I don't know, man. He didn't do much for me, that's for sure. So, Beeb, tell me about what's next for Canelo now. He's got the WBA, the IBF, and the WBC titles. Andre has the WBO. Does he fight? I mean, who does he fight next? Does he fight Andre or does he fight Triple G?
He's gonna fight Triple G next.
Really?
Yeah, because I'll tell you, Andre is definitely a risk, in my opinion. I think his style presents more problems than Jacobs does. And I think that why risk losing that third Golovkin payday? So I even with all the talk and all the BS about how he said that he thinks Golovkin should get a title first before he fights him. I think that fight's going to happen next. I think that's going to be his next fight against Golovkin.
Yeah,
I really do.
I hope. I hope it's against Andre.
I do too.
I think that's a good fight. I think that's a very tough fight.
And it's a southpaw stance too, and you know, I just think that's a different look for him. And we all saw how he looked against Lara, and because of that southpaw stance, and because Andre is even taller and longer than Jacobs.
Yeah.
And you could argue he moves better, and he's probably a little more. He's a counterpuncher too. He's an excellent counterpuncher, Andre, and he's slicker than Jacobs. So I think that presents a tough task for Canelo. Now, the thing is I would probably lean towards Andre in that fight, but if the rounds are close, his style is similar to Lara's, so the fight could play out to be close, and I think the judges could go with Canelo, because if Canelo would definitely have to be the aggressor in that fight, and he could get rewarded for his aggressiveness, even if the rounds are nip and tuck. So it would be a hard fight to bet, because again, Canelo does get the benefit of the doubt in tight rounds, but this was a legitimate win for him tonight. I mean, you can't complain about this one. This was, I had to fight a draw, but if there was a winner, it was Canelo. Like, Canelo was throwing more punches. He was more aggressive, even though he took breaks in the second half of the fight, went to the ropes to get his second win. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you want to make an argument for someone winning, definitely Canelo is the winner. Like Jacobs can make an argument Jacobs didn't lose, but it's hard to make an argument for me, in my opinion, from my perspective, that Jacobs won either. So it seemed like Jacobs just was really concerned about that counterpunching, and not only that, I think the body work too. Like every time Jacobs got close to Canelo was touching him on that hip. He was hitting him like right on that hip, hitting him right in that body area, and I think that definitely made Jacobs have to think twice before coming in too. So I just thought Canelo, and I give Canelo credit. I thought, given the style that he had in front of him, I thought he fought a phenomenal fight tactically. I just think it was a very smart tactical fight, And the thing too is, even when he fades in the second half, he always comes out strong in that 12th round, because he knows that he has to close the show. I think even in the Golovkin fight, I still thought he lost that 12th round in the second Golovkin fight, but two of the judges gave it to him. And at least you could say one thing, even though I thought he lost that 12th round in the Golovkin fight, he tried to bring it to Triple G, but Triple G brought it right back to him. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that particular round in that particular fight, but regardless, he always comes out strong and tries to finish the show in that 12th round. And I got to give him credit for that. Because I know that he's tired, but he digs down deep and really tries to pour it on and really solidify his performance and the victory by coming out so strong in that 12th round. So you got to give him credit for that. Really got to give him credit for that. That's the heart of a champion right there, without question.
Yeah. Going back to something you said, like you said, you scored the fight tonight a draw, but
correct.
You're not going to knock anybody if they had
no.
Canelo, or you don't
like Chikal had it 116, 112, and then he asked me how I had it. I said I had a draw, and he goes, "Wow." And I can get that. I get that, And then he said, I could see 115, 113. And again, I'm probably I know I'm going to be in the minority here, and I could have easily swung around the other way, or possibly swung 2 rounds the other way. I gave Jacobs the 3rd round. Now, if I don't give Jacobs the 3rd round, it's 115, 113, because I don't know if anyone gave Jacobs the 3rd round. I know you didn't. I'm curious to see if the judges did. But that was one round I thought Jacobs won, but I would probably be in the minority there, But it was just a great performance for Canelo. But yeah, the commentary really was irritating tonight. They really irritated me tonight, that commentary.
D-Style says that Jacobs
honest.
won round 3, by the way.
Oh, he said he won round 3. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had Canelo winning the round. Yeah, well, I mean, you know my scorecard. I had Canelo winning the first 6 of the first 7.
Yeah. But even the commentary, like I don't think any of the commentators, like after the 3rd round, they said, "Oh, that's a clear Canelo." Like they were saying, rounds were like clear Canelo rounds. Like he was clearly winning the fight.
Listen, man.
I'm like, what the fuck are they watching?
There were very few clear-cut rounds.
Yeah, those rounds were hard to score, man. They were hard to score. But one thing was evident was Canelo was definitely the aggressor, and Canelo was definitely throwing more punches.
Yeah.
You know, we can't argue against that. So.
Yeah, I think so too. Notorious VC wants to know how your blow-up doll Lois scored the fight.
Notorious VC, you're lucky I don't have internet, and you're lucky that I lost power here because, I mean, I would have to defend Lois to the end here. She is not a blow-up doll. She's, you know, she doesn't work. I gave her the night off tonight. So at least you can't hear what's going on right now. So at least we can spare her. Enough with that, please. You're just so disrespectful to her. I just can't believe you folks. She's a human being. She's got feelings. But yeah, Lois had the night off, so I'll have to talk to her tomorrow. She does work Sundays because I do need her to be here for the show. Sure. So I'll ask her tomorrow how she scored the fight.
Sure. Interesting. Do you think that she watched the fight?
She told me she was going to watch the fight with her friends, so we'll see what happens.
Did you take the lid off the box so she could watch the fight?
Leave her alone. She's a human being.
Just saying. I'm just asking questions.
She has feelings. She has emotions. She doesn't like that. He's not some Barbie doll. Please.
No, Barbie dolls are like...
You and your misogyny, objectifying women. You can't do that. She's part of the team.
She's part of the team.
She's part of the team, and you disparage her like that.
Well, I'm going to be hopeful. I'm going to be very hopeful right now and say that Canelo will fight Demetrius Andrade next.
Oh, I hope so.
I hope so, too.
I hope so.
Does anybody... You know what? Does anybody out there... Let me ask you guys a question in the chat here. Does anybody out there want to see a third Golovkin fight? Or am I in the minority here? Yeah, guys, hit the like button. If you guys are out there, hit the like button. Come on, man. Show us some love. It's 1:48 a.m. Come on. Help us out. But yeah, I'd like to see in the chat, does anybody want to see a third Golovkin fight? I know I don't. Beeb, do you want to see that?
It wouldn't bother me. I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I
don't know. I mean, I just think that now...
I'd rather see an Andrade fight. I think it's more intriguing, but yeah, I wouldn't hate... Definitely wouldn't hate
yeah. It's kind of mixed.
A third Golovkin fight.
Kind of mixed in the chat here. Kind of mixed. Some want to see it, some don't. Some wouldn't mind. I don't know. To me, anyway, a third Golovkin fight. Listen, man. I mean, I think Canelo is getting better, and he's getting more comfortable at the weight, and I think he's getting better. And I think Triple G's on the slide down. And I had the Triple G last fight, a draw with Canelo. But I still didn't balk that Canelo won. I mean, it's okay that Canelo won that fight. I get it. That's fine. I mean, I didn't protest that for sure. Jason wants to see Triple G versus Andrade and the winner face Canelo. I'm not against that either.
That ain't happening. I
don't think that's happening either. But,
that definitely ain't happening. But at some point, someone's got to fight Andrade. I mean,
well, Sean Newton had mentioned that Andrade is set for Masha Suleski, which we all know. But that fight's taking place in what? June?
Yes.
Is it June? So that's plenty of time. I mean, that's plenty of time to get ready for September. Canelo's not going to fight again until September. It's not like he's fighting, 16 times. I mean, he's fighting twice a year.
Well, I mean, it's up to Andre, what he wants to do.
Yeah.
If he feels that's enough time. When is Golovkin fighting next?
Steve Rolls. Let me see. When is he fighting next?
When is that date?
Incidentally, BB the King asked me, what about Charlo?
That ain't happening.
That would be a very difficult fight to make because, again, Charlo's on the other side of the block. You know what I mean? I think, Phil Briggs says it's like next month. Steve Rolls next month. Let me see exactly when that fight's going down here. Let's see here. Let me go to schedule. June 8th. He's fighting Steve Rolls on June 8th. So we'll. But see, the thing is this. They put him in soft, so he probably won't take any. For a while.
Yeah, so he could have a quick turnaround. Andre's fighting Selesky, so that would be Selesky is a handful. I'm curious to see how he handles Selesky because Jacobs won the fight, but he didn't look great against Selesky in my opinion. And Selesky's definitely a very good fighter, and I'm just curious to see how Andre would handle him. But that's not an easy fight. Whereas Golovkin will probably blow Rolls out of there, and which would definitely give him enough time to be ready for a Canelo fight because again, it's he's not going to be taking any damage. So virtually, I hate to disparage the guy Rolls, but it's probably going to be like it's going to be a blowout. I don't see Rolls going past four rounds in that fight. So it's not like Golovkin's going to have to really extend himself. Obviously anything can happen, a headbutt or whatever, an injury, but the likelihood of Golovkin having any mishaps or slip-ups in that fight are slim. So, at the end of the day, I suspect that the next fight will be Golovkin-Canelo, but I could be wrong. But I know that it's definitely going to be a decent opponent. I'm suspecting, but generally, what happens too with Canelo and a lot of these big name fighters is they'll have a tough fight, and then the next fight will be a little easier. Like you don't really see these guys, get matched up tough back to back to back to back. Well, we did see it with Canelo and Golovkin had two fights. They had the rematch, whatever. But we'll see if it's going to be Golovkin next. I suspect it possibly could be Golovkin next.
I hope not.
Because Canelo,
but I mean, if they want to get mileage out of Golovkin, why put him in against Canelo next?
Well,
I mean, they put him against Steve Rolls. Steve Rolls, by the way, I think is undefeated. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he's undefeated.
Oh, he is? Okay. And he's a super middleweight, too, I think, isn't he?
I'm not 100% sure. Let me look this up. And BB the King said that with Charlo is a mandatory. Doesn't matter. Let's see.
Would you the mandatory in the WBC?
Probably, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, so we already know how strict the WBC is in enforcing their mandatories. Right. I mean, what did Wilder go? Wilder went almost 2 years without having to fight a mandatory. So
yeah, Steve Rolls 19-0 with 10 knockouts, which sounds great. Problem?
Is he a super middleweight or a middleweight?
He's a middleweight.
He is a middleweight. Okay.
The problem with that, he's 19-0 with 10 knockouts. Pretty decent record, right? I mean, that's all right. I can get behind that. He's 35. All right.
Yeah, forget it.
He's 35, son, and he's only got 19 fights. Come on, son. Come on.
Forget it.
Come on.
And why is the fight at 164? Why?
Because he doesn't want to cut that weight. Because it's a tune-up fight.
I mean, seriously.
So, by the way, and I'm sure everybody knows by now, but Triple G's new trainer is going to be Jonathan Banks from the Kron stable. Kind of an odd choice. If I'm Triple G, I thought that you had the best idea. I thought Robert Garcia would have been the best trainer for him. I think he would have been the best fit for him. But my guess
well, I'm sure.
He just doesn't want to pay any money. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure that Tom Loeffler, because of the Klitschko connection with Jonathan Banks,
for sure.
Maybe that had some type of influence on it.
Right.
And then doesn't Loeffler promote Cecilia Brækhus too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of
European fighters. Yeah, he gets all the European fighters like that. All the
German. Yeah, so German. Jonathan Banks trains her too. If I'm not mistaken.
Does he?
So I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. Cecilia Brækhus, I want to say he trains her too. I think I'm almost positive he trains her too.
Isn't that the chick that made out with the other chick at the press conference?
Well, the other girl kissed her.
Would you consider that making out?
Yeah, but she didn't initiate it. Like I thought, like the way you said it was like she made out with her, but the other girl, because she was like she blushed and everything. Like she was like, I guess the other girl kissed her on the lips at the weigh-in.
Yeah, I watched that video a few times just to break it down.
I'm not gonna consider that making out. I mean, but they kissed, But she gave her a passionate. She gave her a passionate kiss.
Yeah, I would have considered it making out.
She gave her like a.
If Cecilia Brækhus kissed you like that, would you consider it making out?
No, because I mean the Beeb likes he likes an expensive.
The Beeb.
He likes extensive action. He doesn't like just like a 10-second kiss. I mean that's not enough for the Beeb.
E.M. Serrano said it was beautiful.
Who did you say it was beautiful?
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of.
I kept watching it over and over again.
Oh, come on, Ian, please.
Eric put Cecilia into the spank bank.
Oh my God, she's pretty though. Cecilia Brækhus she's really attractive.
I heard she likes my voice. I heard she likes what I can do on the radio and stuff. That's what I heard. I don't know.
Who's the other girl that's really pretty too? The other boxer that fought Shields. Fought Clarissa Shields. The girl Anna Gabriel. She's really pretty too.
Yeah. I was surprised. I mean, I remember seeing her in the ring and I didn't think much of her, but then I saw her like training her husband or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. She's pretty, man.
Eric, no one likes your voice. How dare you, sir? How dare you?
He's got the best voice in radio.
Thank you, sir. Jason says Michaela Mayer is the hottest. I don't know about that. And not that she's not.
Depends what you like, I guess.
Yeah, somebody said they like Katie Taylor, the British chick.
No, she's kind of cute too, Katie Taylor. I love her voice.
Yeah,
her voice is hilarious. Well, I train hard.
Look at Jason's such a stalker, man. He said everybody follow Michaela Mayer's Instagram. Like he's getting her followers or something like that, and she's going to be like all indebted to him and say, "Oh my God,
why? Like, are you a PR person? Like, do you get? Are you collecting a salary
like she's going to go out
to tell people to follow her? It's like come on, dude."
Reese Max says Hannah Gabriels has nice thighs.
Yeah, she's got a nice body.
Becky Lynch is hot. Yeah, Becky Lynch is pretty hot. That wrestler. He's talking about the wrestler.
Yeah, she's cute too.
Yeah, she is. I think she's like, I don't know. She's from Ireland or something, I guess.
Yeah, she's from Ireland. She's from Ireland. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cute.
Yeah,
she's cute.
Yeah, well, Hardy. What's her face? Heather Hardy. Yeah,
Heather Hardy. She's cute.
Yeah, from Chi-Town likes her. Almedio says we're all a bunch of perverts.
It's so funny how we just go off on these sidebar conversations. Like the other day, we just started talking about Game of Thrones for like fucking 20 minutes.
Gavin's Ghost says Ann Wolf after 3 a.m. in a bottle.
Wow.
Now somebody else wants to get back to business. He said, "Did you guys talk about the undercard fights?" No, we did not. We didn't talk about them yet. Let me tell you who looked the most impressive on the undercard was Virgil Ortiz, and this was the fight actually on the card I was most looking forward to, because everybody knows Mauricio Herrera and and what he could do in the ring and stuff like that. And he's a very, very good boxer, and we knew that he brings it. You know what I mean? But he got demolished tonight, man. I mean, he got demolished. I'll tell you what, Virgil Ortiz looks to me like he's the real deal. I mean, he really does.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I liked about him, man, is that he came out, and they said he's starting slow, but I thought he was just feeling this guy out, man. It wasn't like a slow start or anything. I think he knocked him out in the third or something like that.
Yeah.
But I told my dad as soon as the fight started, after that very first exchange, I said, Herrera's going to get cracked with an overhand right, and he's going to get put away. Because if you watch him, he's carrying his hand real low. When he comes in to punch, he basically drops both hands. He's got no guard. When he comes in to punch, his arms go wide. Like, he throws a shot, he drops his left. If he throws a right, he drops his left down to the side.
Yeah.
Not even like he's waiting for a hook, just that he's just dropping. I mean, it's insane. There's no he looked bad. And the end actually came in when he hit him, of course, overhand right. And and that started everything off, and then he hit him with a right hand that just iced him.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. And then
he's done, huh? He's got to be done, right?
Yeah. His trainers, I think, said something to him in the ring, actually, and he agreed. He said, "Yeah, maybe it is time to retire." So, yeah, Ortiz, that KO was awesome. He knocked him out when he was standing up. I mean, he iced him right there on the ropes. He was out.
Yeah.
You could see him. You could see him go.
Yeah.
It's
a shame he never won a world. Did he ever win a world title? Was he ever a champion?
Think he did. Who was the guy? I'm trying to think of who the guy was. I can't remember it now. That he got jobbed to. That
Danny Garcia.
Won the fight. Who was it? Was it Danny Garcia? Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. And
a lot of people think he beat. He fought Jesse Benavidez too. I thought. A lot of people
thought he won that fight.
A lot of people thought he won that fight.
Yeah, Herrera.
I didn't think he won that fight, but a lot of people thought he did.
Yeah, Danny Garcia. Yeah, and he got jobbed.
And he beat.
That,
He beat Ruslan Provodnikov too.
Yeah, I thought. He
actually got a legitimate victory over Ruslan Provodnikov.
Yeah,
didn't he?
I don't know. I don't know if he got that.
Yeah, he won that fight. I think he got the decision in that fight.
Notorious is asking if Virgil Ortiz is a Robert Garcia guy. Yes, he is. I have a feeling he could have anybody in his corner, man. That guy is solid.
Yeah,
that guy really is solid, man.
It really is.
It really is. Jason said Heyman never took Danny back to Puerto Rico after that fight. No doubt, man. No doubt. And I hope they don't try to rush Ortiz either, Virgil Ortiz. I hope they don't try to rush him, man. I really do. Because, I mean, he's 12-0, 12 knockouts, and he's the real deal, man, but you can't rush that kid. Make him
he's a Golden Boy fighter, right?
Yeah.
They usually don't move guys exceptionally fast.
Yeah,
they move guys slower.
They're usually pretty good about that. And then
the
top rank's usually pretty good too. The other one, Saddam Ali, man, friend of the show, he got put away, son.
Do you realize in some sports books he was a 23-1 favorite?
Yes, that's what surprised me because he was such a big favorite.
And Sergio Mora called it. Imagine if Sergio Mora bet that fight. Say Sergio Mora put a fucking $100 on fucking What's that guy's name? I just can't remember the guy's name he fought. What's the guy's name he
I'll
fought?
have it tomorrow, but I don't know.
Oh, Jesus. I feel embarrassed because I can't remember the guy's name. And that's no disrespect to him, but that's just how much of an underdog that guy was, is we don't even know his name. And imagine if you put $100 on that guy.
Young. Somebody named Young.
What is it, Sean Young?
Sean Newton said it was his last name was Young. So
his last name was Young. Thank you, Sean. Imagine putting $100 on him.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, he went out and, like I said, he hit him with a body shot, hurt him, and then the referee kept asking him. I mean, I thought, I couldn't, listen, man, was it a premature? I don't know that it was a premature stoppage. I don't know maybe if he should have let it go on. But listen, Saddam Ali didn't look like he was protesting too much.
Well, the problem is when you're on the ropes like that and you're not throwing back, sometimes the referee will call it.
Right.
But if you look at I thought the same thing. Like he landed 2 good shots, but then after that, he was like, Ali was actually making a miss. You know what I'm saying? So to make an argument that it was a premature stoppage, easy for me to say. But the problem is when you're on those ropes and you don't fire back, then a lot of times the referee will stop the fight.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like you can't defend yourself. But he was flipping shots though, so it's tough. It's tough to really call that one. But I don't think it was a horrible stoppage. But you can make an argument that maybe he could have waited a little bit longer. But it seemed as though Ali was just wasn't into it. Wasn't into the fight.
No, I don't
you could tell that. You could definitely tell he wasn't into the fight.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, he was just he was getting pummeled in that round. And referee said a couple times, man, I want to see something. I want to see something from you, and everything like that. And that was it, man. He was done. What was it? Lamont Roach? Was it Lamont Roach Jr.? Is it Lamont Roach Jr.? Was that it?
Yes.
Let me just double check here. Let me go so I can get these names right at least. At least owe him that much, no? All right. Let's see here. Yeah, Joey Diaz Jr. looked really good against Freddie Fonseca. Yeah, that was the other one. Lamont Roach Jr. versus Jonathan Okendo, who, what was his name? One of the announcers kept calling him Fonseca. Who was that? Kenny, I think it was Kenny, whoever Kenny was, Brian Kenny. Kept calling him Fonseca. But Lamont Roach Jr., they were really hyping this guy up, and Jonathan Okendo. And it was funny, man, because as soon as he came in the ring, my dad says, you know what? I don't like the way that guy looks. He looks scared already. He doesn't look like he's into the fight. And my dad from the very get-go said he didn't like his body language. And LaMarcus said Lamont Sanford. I think Lamont Sanford would have put up a better fight. And he said he didn't like his body language or whatever. And all through the fight, man, I thought that Okendo beat that guy, and I thought he beat him pretty sound. Why the referee took a point away from him was just nonsense. It was a nonsense point. Should have never been deducted. Even with the point, I had him winning. I don't know, man. I thought that Okendo won that fight. I don't know what you guys thought, but I thought Okendo won that fight. So, and I tell you what, the crazy part is Lamont Roach Jr., he was ranked number 2 by the WBO, I think. And after this, he's probably going to be in line for a title fight. Listen, he's going to have a tough time with whoever, because Jamel Herring's going to take that belt in a couple of weeks, and he'll have a tough time against Jamel Herring, that's for sure. So, I don't know, man. Let's see what else here. And that was about it for the undercard. Virgil Ortiz is probably the most impressive fighter on the card tonight. He looks solid. I was, you always hear like people talking about prospects and everything like that, and that kind of thing. But he looked like the real deal tonight. I think that was the that was Notorious even said that. Notorious says that Okendo won. I thought so too. Rough with the insurance policy. That point that he took away was absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. Tony Ayo, I did not see the ESPN card. And the bad news for me is I don't even think I recorded it. So I might have to go watch it on YouTube or something like that. Yeah. Tony Ayo says he's not sure why ESPN tried to counter-program DAZN. I'm with you there because nobody's watching that fight.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Nobody's watching that fight. Sean Newton said he's going to go watch it now since it's on the app. Yeah, I'll probably go to the app and watch it or whatever. But yeah, man, I'm not watching. I mean, you got. That's why I love the app, though. Even if you don't get it on your TV, you still got it. That's with the DAZN as well. What did you think of Danny Jacobs giving up about $1 million for the weight today?
900,000. Well, we said he was going to do that.
Yeah.
We definitely suspected that he was going to do that. So.
Yeah, and we don't know.
I think it was a smart thing to do.
Yeah, we don't know what his weight in the ring was tonight. He says, "What did Jacob come in? What was his weight? We don't know what his weight was tonight, but I've heard from a pretty good source that they expected that he would enter the ring around 184 tonight. So, and I heard that from a real good source. So that they expected him to come in at 184. So we knew that he wasn't going to make weight this morning, But it's $1 million. He was guaranteed. I think he's guaranteed by DAZN $2.5 million for the fight tonight. But that's not what he's getting paid because his contract dictates more than that. So the speculation was that he's probably getting 10 to 15 million for this fight. Canelo got 35 million for the fight. So
well, that's the thing too. Is like I guess the 2.5 was from Hearn, and the rest of his purse was from DAZN. Because that's similar to what happened with Jarrell Miller. In order to make that fight, DAZN had to kick in their own money for Jarrell Miller to accept that fight. And he even said that when we interviewed him. He said, well, DAZN had to put up some money to get me, you're gonna have to, when he actually got the fight, he said DAZN put up some money and they made it worth my while, because that's the thing, these guaranteed purses aren't always what the fighter gets. I mean, a lot of times there's other sources of revenue they're getting. Like even with Al Heyman, like we seen that situation with Chavez Jr. when he fought Fonfora, and Al Heyman cut him a side check, and he posted it on fucking Instagram like an idiot, and then he ended up taking it down. You remember that, right?
Yeah, he's such a moron. Because then he posted, and I think he crossed out his name, but he still had his bank routing number and everything on there.
Yeah, it's like you don't show checks like that,
what a
dude.
Moron, son. Yeah, absolute moron.
But that's the thing. So everyone, people see these guys, what these purses are reported to the commission, but that's not the whole story. It's not the whole story. But Jacobs made some good money for this fight. No question about it. I mean, this was life-changing money for Jacobs.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
I think so too. I mean, you're talking about over 10 million. So that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And even if,
nice little payday.
For another million, really, like, if you're getting 15 million, what's getting 14 million instead and coming in comfortable?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even if you're making 10 million and you get 9, I mean, tried to give himself the best opportunity to make the weight. And I suspected he wasn't going to make it. I had a feeling he was going to blow this thing off. He was going to blow it off.
Right. He did with Triple G. I think he did with Triple G. I think he didn't put that title on the line, so he didn't have to weigh in or whatever. So.
And De La Hoya is so fucking aggravating. He's such a fucking dishonest. He's like, I mean, obviously promoters lie, whatever, but he is just so blatantly, flagrantly dishonest. He's trying to say that the IBF enforced that rule. It's not fucking true.
Definitely not.
He's trying to lie and saying that it wasn't him, it was the IBF. And you could tell he's lying the way he was taught, like the way the sneakiness in his voice, the way he's really become an unlikable person.
He's really
like
a sniveling baby. I can't
he's just
stand
he's
it,
just he's just such a like an unsavory character now. Like it's hard. I'm not gonna sit there and say I hate him, but I just don't like him. You know what? You know what is the thing about him was I always got the sense, even when he was a fighter, you have to respect him as a fighter in terms of his abilities and he had a lot of heart. Don't get and he trained but he was just so fake. Like whenever he was interviewed and you hear him, like he comes off as just so fake. You know, he seems like a very disingenuous person. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
He would lie about anything.
Yeah.
Like he's the type of person like you'd be out with him hanging out like as a friend or whatever, and he's just like be telling you bullshit stories the whole fucking time. Like he's just a fucking dishonest. He's just a dishonest person.
Yeah.
But that was so irritating. Him saying, "Oh well, it wasn't us. You know, it was the IBF's rule." It's not the fucking IBF's rule for unification fights, and everybody knows that. You know, everybody knows that.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you can go ahead and read it on the IBF website. It's a unification thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's if it's a unification, we waive that. They said they waived that. So yeah, it's just.
And I'm listening to this fucking jackass being interviewed on YouTube saying, "Oh well, it was the IBF's rule. It wasn't our rule." You know, it's like, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. But you know what? I think Jacobs eventually is going to have to move up to super middleweight.
I think so, too.
He's 30,
I think that, he's on the diminishing returns thing where, you know, he's like, he's losing so much weight to make it down to 160 and then blowing back up the next day. It's not working for him. I mean, you've lost against two really, really good guys, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, man, it's...
and Quillen moved up to super middleweight too because he realized he couldn't make middleweight anymore. After he lost to Jacobs, he moved up to super middleweight.
Yeah, he got demolished by Jacobs, boy. Yeah, he's got close losses. Amadeo in the chat just said he does have close losses, and you're right, he does. He has close losses.
And even Eddie Hearn said that maybe Jacobs was a little flat tonight. Maybe he may have to move up to super middleweight.
Yeah. Yeah,
he said it at the end of the fight too. So,
Jason says that Oscar's new documentary said he thought he beat Trinidad easily. I think a lot of people thought he beat Trinidad easily. I don't think that's. I don't think that's bad. I mean,
I had the fight. I had that fight with Trinidad a draw.
I think I had. I thought Trinidad. I couldn't have argued it either way. Quite honestly, it's been a long time.
That fight was a close fight too. People don't realize. Like
he coasted a lot of that fight out. He coasted, but in the beginning,
I mean,
he was killing that guy.
To sit there and say like he definitely lost the last 3 rounds. We know that, right?
Yeah.
To sit there and say that you couldn't give. You can even argue you lost the last 4 rounds. To sit there and say you couldn't give Trinidad 3 more rounds in that fight. Yeah. I mean. That fight was a close fight, but I remember that fight. I had it a draw.
Yeah.
I had that fight a draw. So the fight was close.
It was a good fight. I mean, it was a good fight. I mean, but you know what irritated me about that fight is the way he fought that fight. You know, they were calling it the fight of the century, this and that. You have 2 Mexicans going in here, or two Latinos. I'm sorry, 2 Latinos going in there. It's Mexico versus Puerto Rico. You know, basically And the way he chose to fight that fight, that's what turned everybody off.
I think at the time, that was the highest pay-per-view. That was the highest. They had the most pay-per-views. I think at that time, I think it was 94. I want to say that was 94. And I think that did 1.4 million pay-per-view buys.
Yeah. Jason just said Caleb Plant beats Jacobs. I don't know about that. I
don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's tough to say now because Caleb Plant's only going to get better too. Like I like Caleb Plant.
Plant's a good fighter, man. He will give anybody Corey Lee.
But I like Benavidez. I think Benavidez is the best in that division. I really like. You know why? Because because he can punch like a fucking mule.
Yeah.
He's got the greatest mix of everything. Like he can punch, He's fucking phenomenal defensively.
Right.
He's a good counterpuncher. He's fast. He's got good foot movement. Like I like Benavidez. I love David Benavidez, man. He's like my favorite super middleweight.
Yeah.
And you know who I like too? You know who I think can if he can put it together would be a dangerous fighter is Chris Eubank Jr. I really like how he looked in that DeGale fight. You can say what you want about DeGale, but I've never seen anyone beat DeGale like that. You know.
Right.
And Chris Eubanks, like he knocked him down like twice in that fight. I thought
so. Yeah.
you know, I think he looked really good, and I think if he puts it all, and I think he's only 28 too. So if he could just put it together, I mean, he looked great in that fight. His jab and everything. I'd like to see him get a big fight next.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he signed with Heyman. That was a great move for him.
Yeah.
That was a great move for him. And then the whole situation with ITV, what is it? Is it ITV? Yeah, it's ITV.
Something like that, yeah.
In the UK? Yeah, that's great too, man.
Yeah. Some of you guys are, just so everybody knows, we are not taking phone calls tonight. No phone calls, no Skype. It's just Beeb and I talking about the fight. We had some technical difficulties earlier, so just enjoy our commentary.
Everything. My power just went back on. I just got my power back, and I just got my internet back. Can you imagine that? Imagine if it went out. Imagine if it went out while I was watching the fucking Canelo fight. Oh my God!
You just had to go to your phone.
And
phone.
Yeah, you're right. And I gotta say one thing. I was skeptical about the quality of this fight tonight, but I had no hiccups. It was beautiful the whole time. It was perfect
from start to finish.
It was perfect. I got to give shout out to DAZN, man. I mean, I've been one of the biggest DAZN skeptics, and you know, even though I purchased the app, you know, it has its hiccups every now and then. But this fight was perfect. It was beautiful. It did not buffer once.
Yeah, Jason was saying that a lot of people complained about DAZN buffering, and DAZN,
well, D-Style told me that because he went to like I guess the bar he went to had DAZN, and he said it was buffering.
Wow.
So obviously, it's just I think it depends on the location. But
I think it depends on how you connect to it too. I don't know, man. I watch it on my TV, I don't have any problems.
But internet is not always reliable, Eric. It's like internet. But we can attest to that. How many times have we been doing? How many times did we do a show? Like sometimes I would lose my internet, or you would lose your internet while we're doing the show. Like internet is just it's not It's not as reliable as the TV. We have to at least concede that point, even with the technology. But at the end of the day, you know, you have to have the right equipment too. Like, you know, I had an older Chromecast when I first got DAZN, and I was having horrible problems. Mm-hmm. So then I got the other one, and now I actually went out and bought the latest Chromecast for like $64, and it's supposed to have better streaming capabilities and stuff. Right. And this thing's like a dream. This Chromecast that I have right now.
I've got mine. I've got mine on my Xbox, and it streams fine. Now I've got my Xbox hardwired too. Now that may be the difference.
How does it stream off the Xbox? What does the Xbox have? Like
you can
capability with?
Yeah, you can add apps to it. It's just like it's almost like a Apple TV or something like that, where you can have apps and everything like that. So,
yeah. So but I had no problems tonight with this. This was perfect. The picture, everything. It was like sometimes, like when I watched the Joshua fight, I told you it was grainy. Like at certain spots, it would get grainy. Yeah. This was perfect. This was beautiful. I think they knew that, you know, this was make or break for them tonight, and we'll see if this will help get them more subscribers. I'm curious to see how many people subscribe for the month to get this night.
Yeah.
You know?
I use an Xbox One, for those of you asking.
Yeah.
I use an Xbox One, which is the latest generation Xbox. But the other thing, I have a PlayStation 4 as well. And we can stream off of that as well. And that one is not hooked up. That one's wireless. And I was watching it the other day on DAZN, and it was fine. I mean, I didn't have any problems. My dad has a smart TV downstairs that has like apps and stuff on it where you can go get. So we loaded it up with the Zone. He's fine on that. We've never had a problem with it either. So yeah, man. I mean, if you watch now on my computer, it'll buffer in and out at times. It's not real great. On my phone, it buffers in and out at times. It's not that great. But if you get like a whatchamacallit, if you get like a like a platform, like I said, a good Chromecast or something good that streams, that's meant to, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Corey Lee Boxing, thank you so much, my man. He said he called in, but he called in, but we weren't accepting calls right now. But he said he won $100.
Yeah, we're sorry.
So congratulations, buddy.
We'll be able to take calls tomorrow. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
So yeah. So hey, man, good job, Corey. Corey Lee lost a pie bet on Jacobs.
Who'd he bet?
Suleiman said, Corey, you were going for Jacobs. Stop lying. Some people, Dwayne M. I asked if Robbie was watching the fight tonight. No, Robbie, I don't believe he was watching the fight.
No, he's not watching the fight.
I'm sure he was watching the ESPN. Was it on ESPN or ESPN Plus?
Regular ESPN.
Okay, then he probably saw that fight. But yeah, he's not going to watch the Zone or anything like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Dale from Chi-Town said, will Corey pay up if he lost? Yeah.
Who'd he bet? Who did Corey bet?
Who knows? Joe Lopez also asked when is Skype going to be ready. Skype's ready. Skype people
Skype's ready.
in, just not tonight.
Yeah, we got the Skype situation squared away now.
Yeah, I think we do. I really do.
Yeah, and sometimes when those UK guys they get choppy, it's not us, it's them, because we already kind of troubleshot that, and we kind of came to the because they sounded great last show,
yeah.
And then the connection just kind of got bad, but that's not it's not a tech issue for us.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not us. So Skype's up and running, man. Skype's up and running. I mean,
Joe Lopez says I'm gonna call you guys collect from jail. He's in the cell next to Georgie at Rikers.
Where's Joe Lopez from? He's not from the United States?
Yeah, I think he's from. Where are you from, Joel? Joel Lopez, 40 ounce. Where are you from? Suleiman said that Virgil Ortiz looked strong tonight. I agree. He looked great. Probably the best performance on the card tonight. Yeah, man. So overall, man, a pretty good fight, pretty good night. I tell you what, man. I thought the show really looked like a pay-per-view type of show. I thought it had that pay-per-view type of vibe. What about you?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, I did too. I think they gotta revamp their whole staff though. That LZ Granderson,
What happened to Kay Adams? They get rid of her?
I didn't see her tonight. They had some other chick on there with gray hair. I don't know, some Spanish chick or something like that. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Lopez is from Northern California, Bay Area.
Yeah, so I thought he was from California.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. All right. Who is LZ Granderson? Was he just a sportscaster or something like that, or was he an athlete at one time?
I guess he was a commentator or something. His voice just aggravates me. I just don't like him.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
I don't know.
I don't know
why they got him. He's just, I don't know. He's just corny.
He's better than Akim Barak though. Those guys suck. I wish they would do that segment where they come and they remember how last time they had who did they have with? Did they have Pro Grace with them or something like that? And they had somebody or Tiafimo. Maybe it was Tiafimo. I don't know who it was. And it was.
Why was Tiafimo? Well, how'd they have Tiafimo when he's like a top rank guy? It's crazy.
Maybe it wasn't them, but I thought it was.
No. They had him. They did have him because I remember they did have Tiafimo. But I was just
that did that.
Yeah.
And they brought Tiafimo or whatever to that guy who was hating on Tiafimo. I wish Akim Barak would come to my house and try to rip on me for hating on them.
Yeah, I don't like them.
I don't either. Suleiman is asking, do you think Rob Brand is a good opponent for Canelo?
Yeah,
No.
sure do.
Yeah, I mean, he might be, but they're not going to take that fight.
Fine. Oh, I mean, they won't take the fight, but he's still a good opponent.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I think Canelo walks through him. But, I honestly, man, I have a hard time finding anybody Canelo doesn't walk through at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he beat two of the best guys. Listen, man, he beat two of the best guys.
I think Andre beats Canelo right now.
In the middleweight
I'd pick Andre over.
You know what I mean? He beats two of the best guys in the middleweight division, Triple G, and he beat Danny Jacobs. And if he beats Dimitri Andrade, which I think you got to favor him. I think that fight may look a lot like the Lara fight, but you got to favor him, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that, you're going to have a hard time beating Canelo, man. You really will.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know. All right, guys. I think that's we're going to call it a show. I want to thank all you guys. It is 2:30 a.m. and it's packed in here. And I tell you what, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It's very humbling to see you guys up here listening to us at 2:30 in the morning. So
sure is.
We're going to turn this around in less than 24 hours, I guess, and do a show tomorrow at 7. And we'll discuss all the fights here, including this one and the undercard, and give you a full rundown of everything, and then have all the news and rumors and review the next week's fights and all that other good stuff. Ringside Reporter Boxing After Dark, you're right. E.M. Serrano, salute. Dale from Chi-Town, salute. Kung Fu Jitsu, salute. Amadeo, salute. AP Helicopter, salute. James Rich, salute. Gavin Ghost, Burgess Meredith, both of you guys, salute. Reese Mack, of course, salute. Boxing Freak, salute. Corey Lee, salute, brother. And we will catch you tomorrow at 7 o'clock sharp.
All right.